What is good, everybody? Welcome into the Classic Polasek Podcast. This is going to be week 7 of the NFL season. You believe that? Week 7. It's coming out of nowhere, huh? The game's as good as ever. Not sure we're going to recover from what we saw on Sunday. Whenever you think about, first off, my Dallas Cowboys, huh? How about that? They show up in a big way against Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks like they are... this could be a tipping point for them. They have a big game coming up this week, hosting Houston, which I think that could be a trap game for them. And we'll get to some of those picks a little later on in the show. So hopefully you guys are doing well on this Thursday. Doing it a little early because we have some events coming up for myself that I need to be at. So I'm going to get this out early today. I'm coming off a sick day. Which I still don't feel great, but wanted to get this out for you guys because it is important. And I feel like now that I've kicked off the Facebook page and stuff like that, I do want to keep this consistent. And once a week seems like a little sparse right now, but yeah, hopefully at some point it kicks up to a couple times a week. And then we'll just see where it goes from there. It really just depends upon what you guys want as the viewers and stuff like that. So this is completely social media driven, so if you haven't enjoyed liking the Facebook page quite yet, please go do that. It's Classic Polasek Podcast over on Facebook, and I think it'll be good. It's one of those things that starting it up took a little bit of courage for me because I just was a little bit worried about what was going on. And whether or not it could work out. So, yeah, with that, we'll get back to last week's picks and let you know how I did there. The computer's having a little bit of a tough time getting started this morning. So, last week in the picks where I'm facing off against my high school buddies, I went 6-8-1. Not good. Not great. My first week under 500 since the beginning of the year. I'm actually going to pull this up for you guys because it was not a great week for me. The Cleveland Browns let me down for the first time this year. Let's see who else. We pushed Arizona, Minnesota, so 10-point spreads. They know what they're doing out in Vegas, no doubt. None of us got the Carolina-Washington game right. A lot of people all over Carolina. I was as well. But Washington went ahead and got that win. Chicago, Miami, me and Garrett got that. Miami showing up in a big way without their starting quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. The Brock Osweiler train has started in Miami, which gives me some concern going forward. Some other ones I lost. Like I said, I lost Cleveland. I picked Cincinnati at home against Pittsburgh, and they got beat. I picked Oakland because they were getting points at home. Let's see. Yeah, the home favorite thing worked out with me in a couple. I think I went 500 on those because Dallas ended up winning. Tennessee did not even score a point, so that one was clearly a loss. And yeah, Denver, I almost called it. I know almost calling it is not anything at all, but I said outright for the Broncos, and sure enough, they almost got the job done. They only lost by 3 to the Rams. Sorry about hitting the pop filter there. But yep, this past week, 6-8-1. Me and Evan went that. Trevor went 7-7-1, and Garrett gets some games back at 9-5-1, which for the year now, that makes me 45-40-6. I have a 5-game lead over both Evan and Trevor. Pardon me. At 40-45-6. And Garrett in the back of the pack just by a game, 39-46-6. A couple of things since we're recapping the past week. We got to talk about some baseball here. Let me pull us up ESPN.com. This is the upcoming schedule here. Boston at Houston. You know, Houston back against the wall. That's tonight. 7:09, David Price, Justin Verlander, and look at that, you can get $66 tickets. Maybe the Houston faithful starting to burn out. Down 3-1 I wouldn't want anybody else going to the mound except for Justin Verlander. I think he's the best pitcher in the game, even at his age. I think that he, under pressure, is one of the best to ever do it. So he'll be taking on David Price. The Red Sox are really good. Watched a good amount of the game last night. And, that'll be an interesting one to see if the defending champs can stick around and push it to a 3-2 Boston lead. And then Friday, the Dodgers at Milwaukee. They have a chance to close it out. It's 3-2 Dodgers in the game count. And then Saturday, if needed, a couple of guys there. Chris Sale already the starter for Boston if it does get to a Game 6. And the ALCS does not have a starter quite yet. So, baseball, really, really good. You have, in fact, let me get out of ESPN here. I think it's taking up a lot of my RAM. ESPN is not the best website whenever you want to conserve RAM. So, baseball, really, really good right now. If you don't watch baseball and you're just like, I couldn't care less, I've been there before. This time of year gets really fun, and if you're paying attention, just hop on a bandwagon. That's fun too. Clearly, my Rangers are not there. Just pick a team, and then that way you stay invested. It's kind of like what people say about hockey. Just pick a team or pick a person. Premier League, I got a couple of guys that do that as well, and so. Yeah, pick you a team that you enjoy. It doesn't mean you have to go buy a jersey or a hat or whatever, but just cheer for them. It's an American sport that is pretty good right now, and clearly it's down to its championship games. I think we get more invested in obviously the AFC and NFC championship, and then the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals in basketball. I just feel like America gets on football and basketball a bit more. Which, by the way, I wanted to bring this up, and I don't have the exact tweet, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go back and source it a little bit, see if I can find it while we're doing this. But there was a tweet that came out that was the amount of money made by the NCAA based upon sport. And I think it makes sense. Let's see, money per sport. Let's see if I can find this, and I'll show you guys this tweet. That way I can attribute it. However, it was one of those things that I found interesting because we have so much money that's pumped into the NCAA. And they don't get any of it, which some people would still argue that they need to get paid. I'm actually on that bandwagon a lot of times just because, clearly football players are laying their body out, and I would think that a lot of other college athletes would agree with me that they put their body on the line. However, I do think that there are some that bring in more money than others. And this is not to be a bash on any particular sport. However, the football side made like $31 million a year. And then basketball was second. Here we go. Let me pull this up here for you guys. Hopefully this works. So here's a sporting chart of the day. NCAA average revenue. This is, I don't think the original person. This is Business Insider. The source is Department of Education based on average revenue for 127 FBS schools. So football, you can see $31 million a year, and it's not even close to second. $8 million based upon men's basketball. That's probably the NCAA tournament. That's about it. CBS has a lot of big games during the year on Sundays, but then you have men's basketball for probably the NCAA tournament, and that's about it. Then men's ice hockey, and then you have women's basketball, baseball, track and field, lacrosse, equestrian, and now you're under $1 million once you get under lacrosse here. You can go all the way down to softball, and this is per year. average revenue per sport. And this is FBS schools. These are Division I schools. So whenever people say, Jonathan, why do football athletes get a lot of privilege? You saw it right there. Let me show you to you one more time. That's why they get privilege. And I don't want to start a debate. I don't find it to be beneficial because one person is going to think the way that they want to go anyways. I've met people in my life that have absolutely, there's a former show that I hosted that we would talk about all these other athletes, which I get. They're very athletic. I played sports. I'm a golfer. I played football, basketball, and golf. Golf is not on this list. So, with that being said, I don't want to argue with anybody. But what I do want to do is open up a conversation. If you have an opinion, Facebook page, I'm going to put this up. YouTube, I'll put this up. Let me know what you think about the spread out of money being made in the NCAA. Do these athletes need to get paid? And if college football athletes get paid and college basketball athletes get paid, does everybody else have to get paid as well? Or does that show favoritism? Because that's where you're really going to get a lot of pushback. Is if people say, well, if one kid's going to get paid, then all the other kids have to get paid too. And I think that's just kind of a participation trophy feel to what we are in the 21st century. Trust me, I'm not that old either. I understand what participation trophies are. But I want people to work for it. And if football is making $31 million a year and there's 127 schools, you can give out a little bit of money to the football players. And let's also not pretend this is a completely different opening up of a Pandora's box, but let's not pretend like some schools don't already pay. Okay? Pony Express, SMU, kids are driving around new cars all the time. One in particular, this is basketball related, but it was a KU, and Billy Preston, he eventually had to quit the team because he had a car that was not paid for by him, and so that got a lot of national attention. So let me know your thoughts. I find it extremely interesting. Over time, we're going to make money, so either the rich are going to get richer on the NCAA side, or you divvy out some money. Just my thought. You guys let me know your thoughts, because at one point I hope to have a college athlete in my life, or a college son or daughter. That's what I mean by it. College son or daughter. Go out and either have really good academics or can play a sport, he or she. And so I think I need to look at it through that way. Clearly you want everybody to get paid, male or female. So there needs to be a discussion and open dialogue of where we're going with that, because once we do it, there's no turning back on it. Okay, so let's shift some gears here. NFL Week 7, 2018. We are very much in the thick of things. I think a lot of us were shocked by last week. You have, let's see, the division leaders right now are Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Titans, Redskins because they're 3-2, Rams 6-0. They have a 3-game lead. They're not going to lose that division. Bears because Packers and Vikings have one tie, and then the Saints. Of those 8, I should say, which one is the favorite to win the Super Bowl? Let me know down below. Let's get this thing kicking, because I also put on the Facebook page earlier in the week, what was the most intriguing game you saw all weekend? Got a couple of Chiefs-Pats, which clearly that was a great game. Came down to the final possession. I think Patrick Mahomes made some key mistakes. In the first half. He looked a little deer in the headlights there with how he was throwing the football. He missed a couple of wide open guys. He missed Kelsey on a 3rd and 4. He missed Kareem Hunt on a wheel that would have been a touchdown. So yeah, I think the Chiefs could have won that game clearly, but also, you have to make those plays, and that's why Tom Brady has been so stinking good over time. So here's the standings: Patriots, Dolphins at 4-2, but Dolphins now without Tannehill again. Jets are 3-3, sneaky on a 2-game winning streak. Then you got the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders in the West. The Bengals, Ravens tied at the top of the North, and the Ravens. They have New Orleans coming to town this weekend, and Cincinnati. Find Cincinnati here. They're at Kansas City Sunday night. And then the Browns are lurking in the North too. Titans, Texans, and Jags all 3-3. So I was wrong to say that the Titans were leading that. Because you can see the points for. They're the only team in that division that hasn't scored 100 points on the year yet. 2-game losing streak, however. You got the Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles. They're all right there. Eagles are going to be heavily looked upon this weekend as they welcome Carolina into town. And you can see the rest of them there. Who is your favorite to win the Super Bowl? Let me know down there. Comment box, Facebook, YouTube. Going to put this up on Twitter as well at some point. Classic Polasek Podcast. Look it up. All right, guys. So week 7. Time to get into it. These are all from oddshark.com. If I don't give them a shout out each week, I don't want to get past any laws here. So I'll go through my picks, who I think is gonna go the distance. I'm 45, 40, and 6 on the year, so I've had a pretty good year so far. But we'll start with the week 7 Thursday night football game, and you can see their predicted score on here. Oddshark does a prediction through simulations and such. So they have Denver winning it by 3 tonight. They're a 1-point favorite. And see, whenever I made these lines, I use Oddshark. Once I write it down, that's what me and my buddies use for the week, and we had it at 1.5. So do I think Denver wins it by 1.5? I don't think that the Cardinals can be written off at home. I'm going to go with the Cardinals simply because they're getting up in my league. Pardon me. They're getting 1.5. They're 3-2-1 against the spread this year. Denver winning their first game against the spread last week against the Rams at home. All right, the October 21st, 9:30 a.m. game. Gotta love that. I believe this is the London game? I think that's right. I think it's the London game. Titans, Chargers. Chargers minus 6.5 points. And I think they take care of that. They're going to be lurking at Kansas City's heels for a while. And what I mean by that is they've only lost to Kansas City and they've only lost to Los Angeles, the Rams. So the two teams that were undefeated going into last week, and now it's a undefeated and a one-loss team. Chargers are right there. I think they're a really good team. Phillip Rivers is playing well. I don't think I count on them down the stretch, but I think middle of the regular season against a sliding Tennessee Titans team, it's lost 2 in a row. I think I'll pick the Chargers in that one, minus 6.5. Well, here's a snoozer. Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts. Colts minus 7.5. Their prediction here on Oddshark, 25-17, so that's 8 points. That would be a coverage of the spread. The Bills are 3-3 against the spread this year. Do not sleep on the Bills, but I think at home, Indianapolis gets it done. 7.5 points is a lot, but I think they get it done at home. Minus 7.5. I kind of want to take that one back, but I'll stick to that one. Carolina at Philadelphia, as big of a game probably as you're going to get in the NFC this week. NFC versus NFC. And Philadelphia is favored by 4.5 points. I think this is going to be a super close game. Neither one of these teams are very good against the spread. 2 and 3 are the Panthers. 2 and 4 are the Eagles. I think Carolina plus the points is intriguing. I think this could be a field goal game one way or the other. So I'm not maybe saying it's outright, but I'm thinking Carolina plus 4.5 on the road at Philadelphia. Here's another snoozer, but my Brownies are getting points again. Browns at Buccaneers, and Buccaneers have been on a slide. They had a chance to win the game against Atlanta last week. That was a crazy last play. However, the Browns are coming into town 4-2 against the spread. They finally, in my opinion, lost their first game against the spread because a ways back, I think it was a push in our league. At home, let's say Baker Mayfield does it. I'm not going to root against the Brownies quite yet. I think that they're a good team, a lot better than people give them credit for. Cleveland +3. Detroit at Miami. Detroit is a favorite on the road at Miami. I think the Brocktober continues. Brock Osweiler, man, played well. Got him a win last week. Albert Wilson playing really good. There was a little Twitter beef between him and Tyreek Hill this week on who the best yards after catch receiver is in the NFL. I think Tyreek Hill probably wins that one, but Albert Wilson had a heck of a play last week to take it the distance. I'm going to go Dolphins +3 at home. This got me about 500 last week, picking the underdogs at home. So maybe that will do me some good here. Houston at Jacksonville. Massive game in the AFC South. You see the 1-5 against the spread for the Texans. Kind of scares me a bit. Jacksonville's a 5-point favorite at home. This might be a coming out party for Deshaun Watson, because I think if you're going to take advantage of Jacksonville, you got to do it right now. This is probably going to be an unpopular pick. I'm going to go Houston on the road +5. I think earlier I was going to go the opposite way, but I'm going to go that because I find it intriguing. I think Deshaun Watson needs a statement win this year, and I think they can get it done at Jacksonville. Minnesota at the Jets. Look at this predicted score. 29-17 Jets. Here's another home dog for you. I'm all about the Vikings defense. I like the Vikings defense a lot. A ton, actually. It's not as good as it was a year ago, but I like them a lot. Oh, this is a tough one. Vikings and Jets. I think I'm going to go with the Jets at home. I that's like, if there was a confidence meter 1 to 10 on that, that's like a 2. However, I think it's time for my lock of the week, baby. Let's do it. Yeah, there we go. Checking to make sure I switch screens. The Patriots at the Bears. Bears are getting 3 points at home. I love the Bears in this particular instance. 100% love the Bears in this instance. They get points. They're at home. In my opinion, they could be the winner of the NFC North. Clearly, that depends upon how Rodgers' knee holds up the rest of the year. I'm going to go Chicago at home +3 against New England. How are we doing here? We're doing good. 5 games left. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, drop a like, please. It really shows me support and how you guys are feeling about this particular Classic Polasek podcast. All right, 5 games left here, guys. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens -2.5. Ravens predicted by OddsShark to be a 10-point winner in this instance. I think the Saints are for real. They're my Super Bowl pick before the year. I'm going to go New Orleans on the road, getting 2.5. Rivalry game here, Dallas at Washington. It's never a blowout one way or the other. I'd be shocked if it is one way or the other. The public, 58% is on Washington -1.5. I think the Cowboys build upon last week. I do not think that they fall off. I think they get 1.5 on the road. I'll take the Cowboys at Redskins +1.5. Rams at Niners, -9.5 are the Rams. The only undefeated team left in the NFL is on the road at San Francisco. San Francisco played their tail off Monday night against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Clearly, Rodgers a better quarterback than they are a team. The Rams are -9.5. It's a ton of points. It's exactly what the line was last week whenever I picked Green Bay to cover against San Fran. I think it's a drop-off week for San Fran, and I really want to go San Fran on this, and I'd be happy to be wrong, but I'm going to go Rams, -9.5. Back-to-back weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs on the Sunday Night Football train. The Bengals come trotting into town after losing to Pittsburgh last week. Pittsburgh on the comeback, and I don't trust Pittsburgh that much, but they got a win last week. So Cincinnati at 4-2 comes in to Arrowhead, where the Chiefs are 6-point favorites. They're 6-0 against the spread this year. I don't think it needs to be said very much. I think Patrick Mahomes has a bounce back. He uses the confidence at home. Gillette kind of shook him, I think, and they're probably going to try and get him out of the pocket a little bit more. People are starting to keep him in the pocket, which is fine. He's fine, but he's his best whenever he can create and make plays. What Chris Collinsworth called the Gumby throw, where he was rolling left and he threw it back to his right. Down the field. I like the Chiefs -6 at Arrowhead. I think Pat Mahomes has a massive day there. So then we're going to go from a really good Sunday night showdown to a not below. It's a very much below par Monday Night Football game once again. 8:15 Eastern time, so 7:15 for us here living in the center of the country. The Giants at 1-5 on the year go to Atlanta at 2-4 on the year. Atlanta's a 5.5 point favorite is how I've written it down. So you'll see it as, if you're watching the YouTube or the Facebook, is -5. I have it at -5.5 on this particular one. I don't think the Giants are in position to make a splash this year. A lot of people thought they were. I just think Eli is too far down the hill on the other side. I will go Atlanta -5.5. So I've picked a good amount of favorites this week. I picked a good amount of underdogs this week. I feel good about my spreads. Like I said, I'm 5 games above 500 this year. So I'm feeling confident about where I'm at early on in this season. We're about, almost halfway through. And I could be doing pretty well. I'm not saying go put $20 down on a game each week, but if you ration out where you're at here and who you think is going to win, I could do like a Fab 5 of the week or whatever. I could do 5 games, but then this thing wouldn't be as long. And I figure some of you guys out there are in a league where you're doing 5 games a week or 6 games a week, and you want a little bit of an opinion. For those of you who don't know, I do have a sports background. I'm not just some guy that created this stupid podcast for no reason. I was a sports anchor a couple different places. I've done sports talk radio before. I do play-by-play side now. So I'm not inexperienced at sports and things like that. So I have all my picks done this week. I have the Astros getting it done against the Red Sox tonight to take it 3-2 back to Boston. Tomorrow I have the Brewers beating the Dodgers, taking it to a Game 7. Let's see. And then the NBA season started. So the NBA season started, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Whole lot of games to be played, and already a lot of drama. People blow up, and I get the massive national talk shows like Colin Cowherd's show. Take your pick on any ESPN, like First Take show, Undisputed on Fox Sports 1. They all blew up at Game 1 of the NBA, and it's like, guys, that's like blowing up at the first 2 games of baseball season and freaking out. Oh, they're in trouble. They weren't meshing. I don't believe in overreaction. Clearly, Game 1 of the NBA, it's a long season. We're going to have NBA until the first 2 weeks of June. So even after all the NFL stuff's done, we'll still have the NBA for a couple of months. So I 100% believe that people are overreacting to the NBA early on. Luka Doncic. Somebody will correct me on that. Sorry, I'm a Mavs fan, but Doncic, I think, is what I'm going to have to go with. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year, no doubt in my mind. DeAndre Ayton is really, really good for the Suns, but Doncic, I think, is going to be the MVP of rookies. So, Rookie of the Year, sorry. And then the MVP, if I had to stick my neck out there and say that, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think, is going to be the MVP of the league this year. I think the Bucks, underrated team in the East. I think they could legitimately be the 3 seed on that side. So they're going to win a lot of games. So let me know what you think. Your MVPs down below, Rookie of the Year's down below. And as always, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for the support. We're already to 100 likes on the Facebook page, which means a lot to me. I know you guys are just my friends, and over time have gotten to know me and want to support me, which is great. But if you don't mind sharing out my page, let's get this thing up. The next goal is 200 likes, and then 300, and then let's just keep it going. I want to make this thing more consistent as well. So showing the support definitely makes me motivated to want to get more out. So thank you guys so much for watching. And for week 7 of the NFL season, I will see you next week on the Classic Polasek Podcast.